All right.
Make me look
It's
cool.
live. We're live and
Oh no,
alive.
off air on top.
Nana, it will. We're live. How are you, Anissa? Ketolicious Queen.
The
How are
keto
you?
queen. I gotta turn off my phone. I really for like real. But I am well. How are you, Oliver?
Good, good. You might wanna be in the middle more so we could see more of you.
Trying to. Oh wait, hold on.
There
Yeah.
you go.
How's that?
Yeah, yeah.
All right.
So you're in where?
Provo, Utah.
Wow. Tell
Have
us
you?
something about Provo, Utah.
It is home of BYU, Brigham Young University.
Okay, so it's a university town.
It is. It is one of the most unusual university towns you've probably ever heard of.
Why?
Well, they're deeply conservative people.
Okay.
Very committed to their religious beliefs.
Mm-hmm.
And while I do not attend this university, I do understand that they have like a legal contract to agree not to drink, have sex. And I think there are a few other things that, as a student, they will not do. And
Really?
yeah, and if you break these rules, then you get removed from the university.
I'm sure people still find a way, or maybe they're really religious. And what religion would this be?
Well, I call it Mormonism, but a lot of other people, like people from the church, they call it LDS.
What's LDS?
Isn't that Latter Day Saints?
Oh, okay, okay, okay.
Yeah.
I
But
saw
one
the
thing I
mu-
will say is all of them that I've ever had any connection with are very kind, generous.
Yeah, yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah, I go to school with. I don't go to like BYU, but I do actually go to school, and I experience them as just very kind people.
Cool.
Yeah.
Is there a way to increase your volume from your thing?
Yeah. Let me try.
Yeah, yeah.
Is that the volume set? Wait. All right.
Yeah.
I can
Cool.
also put on headphones if you think that helps.
Yeah, yeah. You might hear me better.
I know. I see you have those really nice headphones on.
Yeah, yeah. Let's have the headphone vibe.
You got nice headphones. I just have my.
Nah, doesn't matter.
Okay. I'm
The-
much better in person than on a digital device.
I know, but Utah's just too far from Sydney.
It really is in
it's
so many
li-
ways.
it's literally on the other side of the world.
Okay, but
Yeah, that's
the
better, much
really
better.
the is it okay? The part I love most about living in Utah is really the beauty. I should open up the curtains and show you the
Yeah,
mountains.
sure.
You want to see?
Yeah,
Here,
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
actually gonna take you with me real quick so you
Nice.
can appreciate a little bit of the beauty here.
So Utah is full of mountains and canyons, is it?
Yes, it is
Cool.
exactly that. It is a bit of a desert
Wow, that
region,
looks like a photo.
right? It is. It's just a postcard, a poster I'm showing you. That's right.
Move the camera so that we don't know it's for real.
That it's for real, so you can see me stand. Can you see the mountains? No, okay. See, it's
Yeah.
real.
Can I
It's
see
my
the mountains
patio.
again? Can I see the mountains?
Yeah, absolutely. Can you see that?
Wow.
Yeah, it goes on here. We can step outside real quick. So this makes it so, but yeah,
Wow, amazing.
yeah, they go all the way around. So this is what they call the valley. They
Mm-hmm.
kind of call it the Happy Valley, but that's
Mm.
more of a sarcastic term for the opioid problem here.
Oh, I've heard about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
Right.
I, I
That's another topic for another day because you can spend years discussing that.
oh, definitely, definitely. So we should really be out hiking in it, but I was in class this morning and I'm taking it easy today. But the beauty when you get up into the mountains is incredible.
Cool. Thank you
Yeah.
for that short tour.
You kind
Definitely,
of,
then I'm gonna come there, and then next time we're gonna broadcast from the hike. We're gonna
oh,
hike and
absolutely.
broadcast.
Yeah. And do you ski?
I've done it a few times, and I'm surprised that I haven't broken any bones. But I would like to learn more.
Okay, well, I have a friend. She's a ski instructor, and some apparently I am not an expert in this, but some of the best skiing in the world is just an hour down the road.
It looked like it. I was gonna ask you that when I saw that. It
Hmm.
looked like an alpine resort. It's
Yeah,
amazing.
yeah, it is actually quite beautiful. So yeah, it's up
Cool.
in Park City, but yeah, it's really actually
Do
very
it.
close. Yes,
Put it in my list of things
Th-
to do.
totally, and
So,
we're not that far from California.
oh, easy. Perfect.
Yeah.
So, last time we met in person, it was in Den Haag, The Hague,
Yes.
in the
The hay.
Netherlands.
That's right.
And I remember at that time you were thinking of going to the States, to the
I
United
was kind of
States of America. Yeah.
half living in Austin, half living in The Hague. Yeah.
Wow. Tell us
Yeah.
how that transformation or transplantation happened, and what did you learn from that? Yeah.
Oh, it was not the most gracious dismount. Let's put it that way.
Okay.
Somebody was going to grade that. They would be like, "Ooh, whoa."
Wild ride.
Yikes. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So basically, I got divorced, and
Mm,
I'd lived in the Netherlands almost 17 years, and I was ready to go back home.
mm,
So that was what motivated me. I needed to go home,
mm,
and I ended up in Austin. That's where my sister lives. And
mm.
Austin, have you visited it?
No.
Oh yeah, that's got to be on your list.
Yeah, yeah.
I think if you visited Austin, you wouldn't go back. It wouldn't really.
Really? What's in Austin?
It's really the culture there that is just
Right.
it's amazing. Yeah, there's just something there for everyone, and they support creativity.
Yeah.
They
South
make
by
room
Southwest
for.
is there, right?
Yeah, I still have
Yeah.
never been, but yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, so it's a place where you almost feel like there's just a new thing to explore, and that might even be a little overwhelming, but I just like the fact that they invite people to find their own and create their own path.
Oh wow. That's
Hmm. Yeah, so great, everything from great food to beautiful nature to amazing culture, and a lot of amazing people live there too, like Tim
yeah.
Ferriss.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's got a great vibe.
Mm.
It's like in the hill country of Texas. It's really its own. They call it an oasis because it's very different than
Yeah.
like Houston, for example. It's just
Mm.
it feels really good to be there.
Yeah. It's also a university town, right? City. Yeah.
It definitely, yeah.
Yes, and I know we know a few people there, so yeah, yeah,
Oh
yeah,
yeah, you know a lot of
definitely.
people there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
and I
gonna be
have to let you
amazing.
know, Heather lives there, and she sends her love.
Oh, thank. So she moved
Hmm.
there.
She did. She's
Oh,
transplanted.
see, so it must be good there.
Exactly. And I hear she has an extra room, so maybe she'll let you camp out for a little while so you can check it out.
Cool.
Yeah.
So so when you moved to Austin and then now to Provo
Mm-hmm.
and then now you're doing tell us about
Keto. Keto.
Ketolicious Queen.
Well, I just created that basically because of my love for basically wellness.
Mm,
What you put in your body has a huge effect. And so getting into keto and understanding how it works and has just transformed me in so many ways, like from my attitudes and my reactions to things to having a lot more energy, really understanding how my body works.
mm,
Because it's not just a physical thing, it's a mental thing too. So you
yeah.
can imagine, like, for example, if you just eat, junk food all day long, you don't feel good. That's a very
Mm,
simple experience. But when you finally figure out what makes your body run better, it, mentally and physically, it just makes life Makes it a whole different game.
For the uninitiated, how would, let's say I was
I think
living under a rock and I don't know what keto is, and then I just emerged out of my rock. What is
okay,
this
so
thing?
this thing is the no donut diet.
That's a good shortcut.
Yeah, it's just like
Shorthand.
I was in a when I started keto, I was in a place where I was having a hard time transitioning, and that was right after my divorce. And
Mm,
I just had this voice in my head, like, you've got to fix your body. It wasn't like I was suffering physically anyway, but I was 25 pounds more. I don't know if you guys use the pounds, so let's say 12 kilos more.
yeah.
And I just didn't feel good. No energy. Didn't matter what. Even if I had like a nice healthy salad, I didn't feel like I had energy. And so, obviously, eating too much junk food, things like cookies and donuts or whatever, didn't help very much. It gives you this little, and then you feel worse.
It's like,
So exactly. And so
yeah.
I realized this isn't working for me. And I'd actually had like I've had acupuncture therapy, and my
Mm,
therapist was like, this is years and years ago, and she was like, don't eat sugar. It's just not good for you.
mm,
And so I started with getting rid of sugar. And then just one day I randomly found this book. I wish I would have pulled it out. Oh, it's right behind you. I'll get it real quick. But I magically found this book called The Keto Reset Diet in the library. And I just started flipping
mm,
through it. And I was like, you know what? I have the time on my hands. I'm a decent cook. At least I like it.
mm,
And so I just decided to try it.
mm,
And so it starts with a really nice explanation on let's get rid of your carbs.
mm,
And so you go, I think I took a month to learn what a carbohydrate is and how to count it. So even
mm,
things like, I'm trying to think of a high, like bell peppers, for example, they have carbohydrates. I don't count that
mm.
as a carb, but I don't
Yeah,
eat bread because breads are carbs, and I don't eat
yeah.
sugar or pastas because those are carbs, and my body does not need it, and I feel a lot better without it. So basically,
Mm,
I got rid of those carbs and
mm,
went into vegetables and eating better fats. So
yeah.
things like avocados and avocado oil and
Mhm,
MCT oil, things
mm,
like that. But and so once I learned about how to get rid of the carbs, then I got into what they call intermittent fasting. And somebody
okay, yeah.
like me, I'm not, I have a pretty relatively sedentary lifestyle. I don't go to the
Mm,
gym. I'm not training to be a triathlon. So I
mm,
discovered that I actually do better if I eat 1 to 2 meals a day.
mm,
And so, yeah, it's just like I don't need 1,500 calories is a luxury for me. I don't need that.
mm. So the fasting comes
Yeah, intermittent
because,
fasting is like,
yeah.
do you know it starts anywhere from like 12 hours, but you could even
Mm,
say, depending on who you are and your health state, you could even say 8 hours. So basically, don't eat anything after 10 p.m. Before 7 a.m. That's a little bit more than 8, but you would eventually want to break that up into a good 12-hour period. So if you don't eat
mm,
after 9 p.m., then make sure you don't eat again in the morning from 9 a.m. And I've experimented with everything from 12 hours to 70 hours, and a 70-hour fast is really just something that's good for the body,
mm,
maybe depending on your health state, every few months,
mm,
because it does have a lot of beneficial physiological factors like autophagy, which is a deep cleansing state.
mm,
And it's actually something they practice with all sorts of patients who have cancer or other
mm,
types of diseases. um, People with the metabolic syndrome, so basically obesity, high blood pressure, diabetics,
mm.
they benefit from fasting.
Yeah, makes
So
sense.
yeah, so the combination is really ideal. So basically I just cut out carbs.
It's,
With the transition period, when you're going off carbs, eating a little bit more fat helps
yeah.
because it satiates. But after a while, you realize I don't really need this much fat. So yeah, it's been a great experience learning how to operate this amazing vessel.
So how long did it take you to transition into this new
Keto. So I think
metabolism? It's essentially a new metabolism, right? Your
yeah,
body.
learns to
burns
burn
ketones instead of
instead of
carbs.
carbs. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I did it pretty slowly. I think I'm sure it took like a month before I was eating enough that my carbohydrates dropped enough. But
Mm,
I started measuring my blood ketones 2 or 3 months into it, and I was already in it. So
cool.
I didn't do it in a hurry, and I think that's the thing is like taking steps makes it easier to integrate.
Mm.
So and just
And mhm.
learning what a carbohydrate is and how to read ingredients. And yeah,
Yeah.
it's so much easier to read the ingredients on a vegetable than it is on a prepackaged food thing that you put in the microwave.
Yeah. I guess that's what they say. Like, eat food that's not processed as much as you
Yeah,
can, right? So the
exactly.
fewer the ingredients, the better. I figured this up. Like, do you eat meat as
Exactly.
well? Are you also vegetarian?
I do,
Yeah.
but it is something I would like. I used to be a vegetarian for 14 years. I was a vegetarian, and then I
14
got,
years. Wow.
and then I got pregnant, and I was like, I have to have a hamburger. I must have a hamburger.
And
So now I'm 8 years down the road, and I'm still not a vegetarian. But I think at least I would like to transition into at least a primary vegetarian. So I'm not going to say I would never have a piece of meat, but most of my nutrition would come more from plant-based things.
cool. So when you
That's the
were
next step.
when you were a vegetarian for 14 years, you were still doing carbs and sugar, so it's a bit
Oh yeah,
different. It's a
yeah,
different,
because
yeah.
donuts are vegetarian.
True.
I guess if they were making them in lard, not. But yeah, vegetarians can technically eat butter, so. But yeah, so yeah, I still wasn't even that healthy if you really go back and look. I mean, I think what did save me is I wasn't eating stuff from like McDonald's, which I just think is so full of antibiotics and hormones, and
Yeah.
so yeah.
And at that time, way back, they still used trans fat before they ban it, right?
Oh, right, exactly,
Yeah.
because this is like the 90s, right?
Mm.
Because I started in 95 or maybe
Mm.
90, maybe 94. Yeah, somewhere way back in there.
And
And
and at
then,
that time when you became vegetarian, is that for ethical reasons or for other
well, no,
reasons?
actually, I noticed I did better without so much meat.
Right. So it's just
Yeah.
it's for your health, yeah.
Yeah, you just notice you feel better. And then it became kind of like a challenge. Can you really give up meat? And I was like, sure, it was no problem. And then that's when I found deep fried tofu.
So
You know about deep fried tofu, don't you?
yeah, I was just thinking, tofu. It's high protein carb. I don't
Yeah,
know.
exactly.
It's
It
so
is.
weird. It,
It's
it
not
is
really that
technically carb.
fancy.
Yeah, yeah.
It is. It's a bean.
It's a bean. Yeah.
So soy. So it's okay. I mean, I didn't really have any issues with it, but I was still doing things like deep fried, stuff, which is deep fried. Anything is not good for you. Doesn't matter what it is.
Really?
No, deep
Well,
fried is just something you would have maybe every other month, just for the
because I've been
taste.
eating a lot of deep fried stuff, but I fry using good fat like duck
That's
fat or
good.
or
That is
ghee.
really
Yeah,
good.
yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
Things like that.
Yeah,
So, what are
but
the benefits of being in this?
and ketosis,
Yeah, aside
it's
from
definitely.
I could see you've lost since the last time we met. You look
Yeah, yeah.
leaner and yeah.
Yeah, I was even fitter until I started school. I'm in school almost 40 hours a week, so I sit too much.
All
But
right.
yeah, definitely the energy levels.
Mm,
And I think the thing I love the most is like I know what to put in my body so I feel good. And I
mm.
don't. I mean, sometimes I want the chocolate, but there are so many substitutes out there. There's Swerve. Do you know about Swerve?
No, tell me. Yeah,
Time
wow.
out. Time out. Hold on. I'll be
Yeah,
right
yeah,
back.
yeah,
I
yeah.
should have brought all my stuff out.
Yeah, why not? Show us the things.
We're gonna have show and tell.
Yeah, it's nothing like show and tell.
Okay. So this is a great snack. I can't rave enough about. And this I'm from the South, the deep South in America, Georgia. These are
Georgia.
pecans. Georgia. These are pecans. Pecans are amazing. They're full of fat and they're not that high in carbs, so they're an amazing snack. And you can put them in anything to give it a little bit of texture. Like we make avocado smoothies. Amazing. So,
Pecans. Are they like Brazil nuts or is it different?
no, they look like a walnut, but they are sweeter. And if you ever come to the deep south, they'll make you something called pecan pie, which is pretty much sugar and pecans.
Can you do pecans and honey to lessen the sugary effects?
Sure. Yeah, exactly. I studied a lot and way back when on what was the best sweetener with a low glycemic index. And if, especially when you get far enough along, you don't need as much. So you could use like a little bit of maple syrup because I like the maple taste. And they have a lot of, I think it's called Lakota, something like that, or Lakato, something. And they make what they call a keto-friendly maple syrup. So you can make things like pancakes with maple syrup and butter.
With the almond flour, right? Almond flour pancakes.
I do a mix of almond flour and coconut flour.
Nice. And then you have that keto-friendly maple syrup. Sounds like heaven.
Yeah. Well, I'm not as crazy about it, but you can make your own and you can do some pretty good stuff. But I might think that if you fed that to me 5 years ago, I would have been like, no way. So I think your taste buds adapt.
I know, yeah,
right.
Yeah.
But here's another powerful thing full of antioxidants. It's called cacao nibs.
Oh, yeah.
And so we put that in a lot of stuff to make a nice.
They're really good in smoothies, I think.
They are.
When you drink it and then
I don't mind.
You chew a bit. Yeah.
It's
really
gives
cool,
you a little bit of bitter chocolateness. And so the thing I was going to also show you was called Swerve. This is and so we buy the confectionery version, which means it's like a powdered sugar.
Can you put it more in the middle so I could see?
Oh, sorry,
yeah.
Swerve. And it mixes really well. It dilutes well. It blends well, I guess is what I'm trying to say, because it is a powdered sugar. They have a granulated version. I don't know if you're much of a baker, but you learn these things when you start out. But at any rate, it's a great, it's erythritol, which is an alcohol sugar. And
alcohol sugar. Wow.
Yeah, so it doesn't have any carbs, doesn't have a glycemic index, or 0. So that means that it doesn't make your insulin levels go up.
That's not like stevia, that's still a sugar, but you get less.
It's different.
You use less, yeah.
Yeah, it's sweet. It has like, I can't remember the ratio because I do these ratios between the sweet, like is it 2 times sweeter than sugar? But it's just our staple. Whenever we need something sweet, we want to add something to or put sugar in something, this is what we use. And it's been a wonderful replacement. And a lot of people don't like stevia because they think it has a strange aftertaste.
It's an aftertaste, yeah.
So that's why I like Swerve too. I mean, I'll use stevia in certain things. Like stevia, I think goes pretty well in things like sweet tea. So if you drink sweet tea, we drink iced tea around here. We make it sweet with stevia.
So Swerve, it's natural, right? Swerve. It's not like
Well, no, I wouldn't go that far into saying that it's natural. And again, we don't consume massive amounts of it. Like I might, if I averaged it out, it might be 2 teaspoons a day.
Yeah, because I remember when I'm kind of.
But I think stevia is it comes from a plant leaf, and this is a chemical reaction.
From alcohol.
Because it's not actually from alcohol. I don't know where they came from the term alcohol sugar, but. Supplement. It's some kind of
chemical.
Yeah. But when it comes down to like if you want to bake something, I think it's a great supplement. However, my son would not agree. He still gets normal sugars. So he's like, no, mom, that's not good.
It's a bit like when I was there, someone showed me, you should drink this Coca-Cola from Mexico because they use real sugar. And it did taste different. It's interesting. Yeah.
Did they use real sugar or did they use corn syrup?
No, apparently they use different because I think there's a lot of sugar cane there, apparently.
Yeah, I can see
so that they actually use.
Yeah.
Whereas in the States or everywhere else, they use something else. Yeah. So.
Yeah, and hopefully they'll ban that. But people were using corn syrup, which is bad for you. But I was also going to show you this. This was the book that I used to start.
Okay.
The Reset Diet. So it helps you get off of carbs in 21 days. But again, it's not a contest. You don't have to. I think the
Right.
thing that if anybody ever wants to try, just take it, like so many days at a time. Give yourself 1 week to drop your carbs. And again, have a little mercy on yourself, because I think some people, they want instantaneous results, and so I've worked with a couple of women, and they lose weight slower.
Right.
It's just kind of how it is,
Yeah,
especially if you're over 40.
and maybe the slower you do it, so the more times you do it, and it becomes part of who you are. It becomes habit, right? And then
it gets integrated. Yeah.
So you don't drop off.
Right.
Yeah. I see that with a few people as well here, that because they're after quick results. When the quick results don't happen, then they just drop the thing, and it didn't work. But actually, because you didn't take the time, maybe, if you stayed at it longer,
it's a story we tell. So, and that's a wonderful conversation I have with my partner. We talk about, what story are you telling yourself? It didn't work, or you didn't commit to it. It didn't work. We all have those moments where it's just, we make our mistakes. We, have to learn. It's okay.
So you teach this now?
I'm not as active in it because I'm in school, but I have had clients and educated them. And because I think the thing about it is, I can't watch somebody eat every day, all day long. So they've got to learn how to empower themselves and just take the steps. So look at what they're eating that they can start removing, like, okay, no ice cream this week. Great start. And if I can, instead of having the sandwich, I just have what's in the middle of the sandwich, make the lettuce wraps. Those are just little ways to integrate.
And also, like, even when in restaurants, I remember when I was in a strict keto diet before, I would ask the Japanese restaurant, can you I want ramen without the noodles, and they did, and then they just put bean sprouts or tofu. It can work, you just need to ask. Sometimes they say no, but sometimes they just do it. You can still eat out without worrying that you'll break your ketosis.
Exactly. So are you doing it no more, or just a little bit low carbs, or?
I would say I'm more primary keto. So if I'm by myself, I'm keto, and my flatmate as well. But then when I go to another person's house, I don't want to be the difficult guest, so I just, you
eat around the noodles.
Or I just take it like, I'll just relax for now. Because there was a time they had to prepare special for me, but I thought that was a bit too difficult. It's okay.
I know. I know exactly what you mean. I used to, eat beforehand. So I could find something that was kind of keto. Like, usually there's a salad, and then I can have that and not feel hungry and feel like I, was able to be a part of a meal.
Because I'm Filipino, and a lot of bonding occurs in eating, so it's kind of difficult, to be out of the. I don't know. The whole culture is around eating.
Well, it is. It's
periods
true.
Of time.
I was in the Philippines, and it was 1994, and I remember I was vegetarian, and they were so sweet to me. They would make me fried eggs all the time. I would eat sometimes like 6 eggs in a day. Because like vegetarian, so eggs and rice.
That's not really a good diet.
No, it's not.
It's kind of difficult in the Philippines, but I think it's changing. I think there's a growing vegetarianism movement there, so hopefully.
Oh, that's great to hear.
Yeah. Things do change, believe it or not. It's interesting.
Yeah.
Oh
my gosh.
So what have the people when you were more actively teaching, did you see like some fascinating or inspiring transformations and stuff?
I think there is one person who stands out the most.
Mm,
They were already on Weight Watchers and had already committed to doing, they go to the gym at least
mm,
twice a week, if not 3 times a week.
okay.
So, yeah, that helped a lot. And yeah, he looks great. He's
Mm,
lost, quite a bit of weight. But what I find the most inspiring is how they make it their own.
mm,
They
mm,
learn about
mm,
their bodies and they find, they use this knowledge. They've gotten knowledge about what is really good for them. It's
mm.
not just about how you look. It's about, it's about your health.
Yeah, and I found that they go hand in hand. Like
Right.
it's not just the physical. When I'm in ketosis, it's like my mind is so sharp. It's just
Right.
amazing.
Mm-hmm.
It's like whoa, there's this clarity. Because
Mm-hmm.
when I was heavy into carbs, there's that afternoon slump for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
Right in the
Definitely.
afternoon, it's just like everything's so foggy. It's like I just
Mm-hmm.
wanna nap.
Nap.
Whereas when you're in ketosis, like what's next? What's next?
Exactly.
It's so sharp.
You become the ninja.
Yeah, it's amazing. And also, yeah, and you're right. When I was in strict ketosis, I could just have breakfast and that could
Right.
sustain me. It's like
Right. Exactly.
it's
Yeah.
ridiculously interesting. And
Yeah.
and also moods. I think it helps with mood swings, like
Mm-hmm.
because I remember when I
Absolutely.
was a heavy sugar eater, I had mood swings,
Yep. Yeah.
seasonal mood disorders. And
Yeah, yeah. I think it just your attitude is so impacted by, they talk. My boyfriend uses this check-in where are we hungry? Are we angry? Are we lonely? Are we tired? And when you're hungry and tired, you are not a nice person to be around.
That's for
Nobody
sure.
is.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Nobody
yeah,
is.
yeah.
So and a high carb diet kind of turns you into one of the, you're like that several times during the day.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
yeah, another good story about this is that's why most appetizers are carbs. So like the sticks, because when you eat it, you become hungry for the next meal. That's why the appetizers are usually sticks of bread, right?
Right.
It makes you
Right.
hungry
Yeah. Well, yeah.
instead of
Yeah.
filling you
Then
up.
and you
It's
eat too
counterintuitive.
much.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Then afterwards, you're like, ooh. But I did actually I was at a restaurant. This is about 10 days ago, and they had
Yeah.
the best cheesy bread. I almost killed myself. I only had like 3 small pieces, but I was like, oh my god, I'm gonna be so sick tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, we have to do it
Mm.
once in a while, and I and,
Oh
and I
yeah.
and I do break it just to test,
Mm.
because I'm always experimenting with different
Right.
stuff. Yeah.
Don't you see how much you've learned about yourself and
Mm,
about,
mm.
food is, like you said, it's a very social thing, and it can be fine, but I don't think it has that value. I think, we have to retrain. I was actually saying that, like, when my son would come home from school, I would give him a snack, and it was not
Mm.
necessarily, like I would give him fruit, but sometimes I give him cookies or whatever, because we would have a moment together instead of
Yeah,
like, let's just have a moment together. We don't have to have
the
food.
excuse. Yeah,
Yeah, exactly. So you just
but
create these little rituals around food.
and it's funny, like when I started this, I just realized when I looked at the supermarket aisles, it's like 2/3 of them are just sugar, or you know what
I
I
know
mean?
there's nothing, and I mean, yeah, eighty
It's
percent of
so
what's in the grocery
weird.
store is not edible. It's just not meant to be eaten.
I
Like
just looked at
maybe on
it
a
and I
very
just
special occasion. Yeah, it's
yeah, it's
true.
like an awakening. You just go, it's like whoa, it's like getting out of the matrix. And then I realized that everything in culture is like we're at university when they're doing workshops and then have some chocolate or they reward you with this with
Poison.
candies and lollies. It's like you're it's baked in everything. It's alcohol and sugar. Like to celebrate, you drink. If you
Yeah,
did well, we give you snakes
yeah.
and
Like
all this.
exactly.
Even some chocolates are called celebrations. It's so in there.
It is. It is. It's beautifully packaged. It comes in
Yeah,
every size,
and
flavor,
it's
combination.
equated with happiness and the
Yeah.
good life, but not.
Bonding.
Yeah, I think we
Yeah,
need
well,
to do some advertising, and you don't
yeah.
need sugar to be friendly.
No, you don't. You don't. Yeah, I know, but we are trained that way from a very early age. Remember? Did you grow up on cereals? In the American culture, fruit in my
Yeah,
world, Fruit
Fruit
Loops,
Loops,
Fruit
yeah.
Loops.
Kellogg's, and which is a strange history because apparently, like you said, Kellogg's are one of the cereal companies were started by priests, and were they the Quakers or something? You know what I mean? In
Oh, well,
there
I
was a
do know.
religious group that did it, and but when they did it, it was the real
It was actually
cereal.
kind of
It
healthy.
wasn't like industrialized with all the
Right.
sugar. Yeah,
Well, you do have Quaker oats.
yeah.
And I used to love oatmeal. I kind of miss it because it was just a nice way to start your day. I'd put figs in it and nuts in it and a little bit of honey in it. I was like,
Mm.
it's warm and filling and full of carbs. But Kellogg actually is one of the founding fathers of massage therapy in America.
Yeah, there was something with that. There was like it was meant to be healthy, and then it
Yeah,
got
I think,
hijacked
yeah, oh, totally.
by corporate
Yeah,
greed
by the time
and
it made it down to Fruit
industrialization.
Loops.
Yeah.
And what was it? Oh, there's another one. What was that one I used to like? Captain Crunch, Peanut Butter Crunch.
Oh, America is just like full of this.
Oh
So I
yeah.
remember, yeah, we like Reese's. They've reached Australia now. They're everywhere now. Reese's, and
Oh,
when
Reese's
I
peanut butter cups.
yeah,
Yeah.
and then when I was in the Philippines, we used to like Hershey's and all that, you know.
Oh my gosh.
But now we could
Yeah.
recreate. So what are you studying? Because I noticed that.
Massage therapy.
Oh, what?
Yeah, because I think when you knew me in Holland, I was practicing Thai massage therapy.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and
Because yeah, in you had that attic room where you did it. Yeah.
right, exactly. And so
Mm.
now that I'm here, I want to practice massage again. So I have to have a license. So I'm just getting. I'll finish up in September, and I can start massaging again. I would
Cool.
focus on all sorts of wellness, helping people at least recognize the carbs in their life that they don't need.
Mm.
Yeah, making better choices physically
Awesome.
and yeah, and for their diet and well-being. Yeah.
Awesome. This is good work you're doing.
Thank you. It's great
Yeah.
to do. I get very excited. I like actually being in the kitchen, making things just really simple little things, just veggies and butter, or even veggies and a little bit of coconut oil, some salt is amazing. If you just stop and make it simple, it's crazy. Like a portobello mushroom. You
Mm.
just put a little bit of whatever your favorite oil is, preferably coconut oil or an avocado oil, and some salt. That is like a masterpiece of a meal. And it
Mm.
doesn't take long to prepare. They're not terribly expensive. It's filling. I think we just kind of forgot how much we have, especially in a country Australia, America. We're so used to having, I don't know, the lobster, the salmon, the steak, because but you can go so basic and enjoy grilled carrots because if you buy like really good carrots, they're super sweet. It's like candy, and we don't even know.
And you have the beta carotene. So just grill it on over the stove.
Sure. Yeah. Or
Mm.
I love putting vegetables in an oven.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, healthy food can be super simple, and that's why I prefer it actually.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. Where can people find more about this and what you do?
Well, you can always find me on Instagram, the
Ah, yeah,
Ketolicious Queen.
the Ketolicious Queen, and then you can get the feed on
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
how to feed yourself properly.
exactly. Yeah, how to feed yourself properly, but it just has so many benefits.
Yeah, yeah,
So many. You know that. Like you
yeah, yeah.
said, concentration, it doesn't take that long. You can spend a month doing it. We have that kind of time. And in actuality, as I talk a little bit about with, my friends, it's like, what is real self-love? You know, isn't it taking the time to really nourish yourself and
Mm.
saying no to whatever fast food restaurant? Go home and make something for yourself, or you know, there you can find anything on YouTube. You can find how to make simple food on YouTube. You don't have to be. It doesn't have to be a complicated thing anymore.
Yeah, and
So
then
yeah,
yeah, and a good hack to do it is apparently we're all good in taking care of someone else or something else like a
right.
pet,
Yeah,
but you can
like a
just
pet.
think that take
Make
care of
yourself your pet.
you
Yeah.
yourself. Yeah,
Yeah.
because when I was heavy into meditation, that's what my meditation teacher said. Like, because really this is just a shell, but
Right.
you need to walk this we call it, we jokingly call it the carcass. You need to take care of the carcass. You need to,
Take
it's like
care
a
of the
dog.
carcass.
Yeah, it's like a dog. You need to walk it. You need to feed it nice
Yes,
food because
exactly.
you need it like you need it as a base while you're incarnated. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
if something
Yeah.
happens with your body, then you can't meditate, and then you lose all these nice things because you're all blah. So you need to
Exactly.
walk the thing and make it
Yeah.
nice and healthy and lean.
Exactly. Yeah. And not you know, you look good, you feel good, you have a lot more positive energy. You feel like you have more capabilities of creating the life you really want.
Yeah, and with our
Yeah.
training in accepting compliments, it's really good. Like when I see people, oh, you look so good. You've
Yeah.
lost weight. You're fit. And then in the
You're
old days,
glowing.
you will just go, oh no, but now you can go, thank you,
Why,
and
thank
it feels good. Yeah,
you.
you just
Yeah.
accept the compliment and
Yeah.
boom, and then makes
It's
you continue
love.
the thing.
Yeah. Absolutely. But I
Yeah,
would just,
it
I
starts
think
with
the thing
this.
that you can't really convince people of it. So not to, I don't like to convince people of
Yeah,
ketosis. I
yeah,
do
yeah.
like to convince them to look at what you're doing. You know, where are your priorities? I don't buy designer clothes. I spend my money on really good food and supplements.
Yeah, I was thinking about that.
Hmm.
Why should we skimp on food? Because this is the thing that goes into us, whereas
And
the
it has
other stuff,
so much impact. Yeah.
yeah. So it's actually should be the one we spend more on because that's gonna impact our overall well-being. Food and
Yep.
all the things that go into our body, like soaps and that.
Yeah. Exactly.
Thank
And
you,
it, because
Dr.
it,
Bonners. That's what I got from
right.
America. It's so good, you know. Yeah,
That's funny. That's awesome.
yeah.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
my son saw this thing on YouTube about what's happening with, raising cattle and how it's destroying the rainforest. So he
Yeah.
watched this whole thing, and he came to me and he's like, "Mom, I want to be a vegetarian."
Wow.
I know. I was
Amazing.
like,
Yeah, yeah.
okay, because we don't realize what our choices are not just good for us, but it's good for everybody,
It's
for
good
the
that it came from
environment.
him, right? It's like boom.
Yeah. Yeah, I was like, really? I mean, he's never been a kid that had to have a lot of meat. So,
Even in
like,
the Netherlands, there's a lot of
even
meat
in the
in the Netherlands.
Netherlands, if I
Yeah.
cut him up fresh vegetables, and he loves cheese, which is part of the, it's not completely environmentally friendly, but it's a lot better than having to feed your kid chicken nuggets. Which
Yeah.
I know little kids are like, I only want hot dogs, I only want chicken nuggets. But
Yeah.
he's not like that at all. And when you get deeper into like the energetic level of vegetarianism and veganism,
Mm.
sustaining yourself off of plants has a very different vibration than when you sustain
Mm.
yourself off of meat. But we are all different, and you really have to learn how to take care of your own carcass.
Yeah.
That's what it's about.
Yeah. That's why I said
Yeah.
that I can just tell you what worked for me, and you have to
Right.
find out what can work for you because we're
Exactly. And then let's talk
yeah
about it, and maybe
yeah
not share a meal together.
yeah. It's because each one has her own phenotype, genotype, and all this.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, is there anything else you want to say before we wrap this up? And maybe we could do this some other time when maybe
Let's have
I'm.
a cooking show.
Oh yeah, show us. Yeah,
I
yeah,
would love
yeah,
it. Yeah. Well, and
yeah,
I think we should get together. We'll do some mixing of traditional Filipino and Wild West, uh, Wild West American cuisine.
yeah. We can do our own version of Pinoy Creole. That was
Yeah, or do you know buffalo wings are really popular? So it's this buffalo sauce. So we'll figure out like a buffalo Filipino dish.
yeah. Or we could have tamari adobo, you know?
Oh,
Instead of
actually,
soy sauce, you just tamari for the
right.
adobo. I don't know.
And then
That
we'll
could work.
figure out a really nice vegetable substitute.
Yeah, let's
Because
do
I always
that.
have chicken adobo.
Yeah.
So we can figure out a really good substitute. Maybe even something that's not full of tofu. So
Chickpea adobo instead of
chickpea
chicken.
adobo, right? Exactly.
Let's do this. Yeah.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, we'll talk offline and then we'll do another
I
episode.
would love it. Absolutely love it.
All
Well,
right.
consider yourself a guest if you ever get this far. East?
Yes.
Am I east of you? West of you?
We're down on the Asia side. So yeah, you're actually no,
I'm northeast, right? You would
no,
travel.
you're on the other side. You're on the other side of the northern hemisphere, and on the other side. Yeah, you're literally on the opposite side of the world.
Oh, right. Literally.
In both sides. Yeah.
It would probably be faster for you to go through the earth.
Yeah. Once Elon Musk builds the Hyperloop, the international Hyperloop network.
Straight to Provo, Utah.
Yeah. All right. Thank
you
you
so much.
Anissa. And yeah, let's do this. Yeah.
Let's do it. Okay, Oliver.
Namaste.
Namaste.